Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with the third episode of my iPoker adventure, Darkside. And today, for the observant amongst you, you'll see that I'm not playing the speed poker tables. That is because it is around 8 o'clock in the morning GMT and the pool's just pretty dead. A very quick update on what's been happening. Last night I played a session for just a very, very short session and pretty much just undid all my work so far and got myself into a slightly losing situation. I'm going to explain why that happened and then we'll get into the video. Yesterday I had I'm going to explain why it happened because I think it will document what happens, I think, to a lot of people. Into a trap that they fall into by playing too many tables. Yesterday I was up very early in the morning because we were finishing off a DIY project. We had a carpet fitter coming to fit a carpet in the bedroom that we've been redecorating and refurnishing. And anyway, the carpet fitter was coming at 9 o'clock, so we had to be up early to get the room ready for the carpet fitter to do his thing. And then after he'd been, I had to take the car to the garage to get a tyre changed and to get a puncture fixed on a separate tyre. And then after that, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, my wife and I give respite care to a young lady 14 hours per week. And then we had her for the whole day after that. So I didn't have a chance to play poker all day. So eventually, when I finally did get a chance to play poker, I kind of felt, I want to play some more hands here because I haven't played all day. I'm falling behind on how quick I want this challenge to get through because it's not something I want to be doing for like too long. I want to try and get it out of the way in a couple of weeks if possible. That's a particularly bad river. I mean, the guy's playing 81-13, so I'm happy with how I play the hand against him so far, but clearly we can't call that off. So I fell into a trap that I think tons of people fall into, and I don't fall into it very often because of my overriding poker philosophy, which is don't really get into the whole playing high volume thing. But anyway, I fell into that trap yesterday, and I ended up playing tons of hands in a very short period of time. Got cooled a couple of times, and the whole session just felt like it was just passing me by. Wow, there's a lot of action here. Pretty easy fold. Whole session, and it just felt like I wasn't in any kind of control. And so I quickly ended the session, even though I don't feel like I played particularly badly in it. I ended the session, and I was just tired, and I thought, no, tell you what, let's just not play today. This Lucky River looks like he's going to be some kind of aggro regulars at every table. It looks like he'd be particularly active. I mean, I've obviously played some hands of speed poker with him because I have a sample on him. I have some hands on him. But I don't know if he's going to play these tables differently or not. But anyway, yeah, the trap I fell into. So I just stopped playing. I was tired and thought, no, this isn't really a good time for me to be playing now. I've had a long day. I've got off to a horrendous start, so I just stopped playing for the day. I was checking back there, by the way, because C-betting low wet boards multi-way is definitely a way to make yourself very poor quite quickly. So that's what happened. So today I woke up, I went to bed early, woke up nice and early, feeling fresh. I thought, come on, let's play a session. And then when I logged in, the speed poker tables, there were like 24 players in the pool, something like that. Some of them were sitting out, some were six tabling, and the pool just looked pretty manky. So I was going to log out, but I thought, well, before I do, let's just have a quick look at the regular tables, see if we can see what's going on there. And the table looked pretty good. I was able to get seats pretty quickly at tables where everybody had less than 100 blinds. This bottom right table, people don't have less than 100 blinds anymore, and it is looking a little bit reggy. They don't look like any obvious fish. All in trade. It looks like he might be weak tight with his 22-6, but everyone else is looking quite reggy. So I might substitute that table out shortly. and just look at the lobby. If there's another game, if I feel I can get in a better game, I will sub it out. And so yeah, that's where we are with the what's happened so far. It's been a very inauspicious start, shall we say. But it's 5,000 hands, and I have run pretty salty, so whatever. Um, that's all just part of it, all just part of the poker grind. And we just have to get on with it. 5,000 hands is clearly absolutely nothing. And I've definitely made some mistakes. I made a big mistake last night in how I went about playing my session. Hopefully I'll learn from that and won't do it again. And we can just get on with completing the challenge. There probably are going to be sometimes like this in there. If I can find 4 decent regular tables, it's quite often I might just do that rather than play the 4 tables of the speed poker. But in terms of, do I think iPoker could provide me with a €12 per hour income at 20 NL? Beyond question, no. That is unquestionable. So in terms of, is iPoker going to meet my needs? It isn't. In terms of finishing the challenge, because I want to be able to have a broader scope of what's going on in different sites, so I can better educate my students, I am 100% going to finish the challenge. But it may well be that I finish the challenge on the regular tables, or mixing the regular tables and the speed poker tables, depending on what time of day I play, etc. So yeah, the challenge isn't off, it's just maybe just changing slightly. But it's still, the intention is to scout these games out for at least 50 hours or 50,000 hands. And then what I'll probably do is I might well start looking at for another 50 hours, I may well start looking at just playing £50 and €50 buying games and seeing what kind of rewards I can get there to help compensate me for the slightly poorer games I'll be in. Because who knows? I mean, I haven't played the regular games on iPoker for such a long time. And they might actually be quite good, because all the regulars might just be bashing out thousands of hands an hour at speed poker games, and there might be some pretty good regular tables left behind, because these tables certainly look good. So who knows? I may have inadvertently stumbled on something that can provide me with my needs. We've been check raised by a player who we suspect is bad aggressive here. Absolutely. It's a really small check raise, but there's not much reason to 3-bet him. We're just going to have a little bit of a dwell up here. As if we, I don't think many people buy into that. To the whole take your time, people think you're folding thing, but you never know. You just never know. There's no reason to snap call. If we dwell up a little bit, we might at least represent some pocket 10s, pocket 9s, that type of thing. And when he checks, I think he's clearly had a bluff that he's just giving up on. I don't think there's any chance we get called on a reasonable sized bet here. So I'm going to bet like 1/4 of the pot and just try and get a crying call from some ace size, or hopefully even better, if he is bad aggressive, induce some spew. And he clearly just had some random bluff, which is a shame, but what can we do? Do I squeeze the King Jack offsuit here? I think I do. We have a 64/14 who's just called in the pot, and I want to be getting this guy to myself if I can. And if they both fold, that's a good result. And if he calls, that's a good result too. I'm not going to see bet this board into two people who I think aren't that into folding. He's not into folding in an aggressive manner. This guy's just a huge, looking like he's going to be a huge calling station. Here I'm going to see bet pretty big with my top pair against a player who I think is going to have a pretty wide calling range here on this particular board texture. And here we're just going to fold. And I'm just going to shove this turn. I think we can, there's tons of worse hands. A 64-14 can call with here. He's not folding any jack, and we beat every jack except one, unless he really is in there with like the jack 6 suited type hands. There's tons of draws he can call with. And he's folded, it's a shame, but when we could have just gone for a small bet there. And then gone for like 2 streets to get it in, but the board was somewhat wet. So yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy with the line I took. I would take that line again. Some guy here who's don't provoke or don't provoke, whatever he's called himself. Up to now he's been stealing 71% of the time, so I'm going to try and be really active against people who are stealing that amount. I wouldn't normally see bet this type of board. It's like semi-coordinated, it's a little bit wet, and the guys are calling station, but we have the ace of clubs. So because of that, I think it's just enough reason. I think we have just enough backdoor equity here to take a stab at this spot. And now the question is this player the type that folds any kind of pair on this turn? I don't think he is, so we're just going to check back. The king theoretically is a really good barrel card, but against people who would just aren't thinking that way, and are just pretty much, if they've got a pair they're calling, I think it's a mistake to just play in a way you would play against better players in that spot. Now we're just going to fold. And we're going to be able, hopefully, we're going to be able to get in way better spots to double barrel against players like Daniel. I mean, that theoretically, that is a spot where I would be urging people to typically just empty the clip. We've c-bet with backdoors, we've turned a good card for our range. And the king, it's a good scare card. So normally all the chickens are in line there to fire out a turn bet, then just barrel off the river, because most of the flop calling range won't be able to continue unless they had some kind of like slow played monster. I don't think those rules apply against 73/15s. I think those rules go right out of the window, and we just, or you really bet, we can, maybe even my c-bet wasn't that great. And we only bet when we've got it against these sets of players, because we don't expect them to fold. So we don't expect them to fold very often. Bluffing them with any kind of frequency, or trying to bluff them with any kind of frequency, well, it doesn't make sense, does it? It really doesn't make sense. Raising the ace-2 suited here because we have the weakest player at the table in the blinds. Ace-2 suited wouldn't typically be my under the gun range. Yeah, so I think table 4 is the worst table we've got here. Probably just about playable because of All-In Trader, who looks like he's probably going to be a fish. So it makes it just about playable. Table 2 we have a good fish with a Jesus seat on them. Table 1 we have the best seat at the table. And table 2 we have a good seat too. So we've got 4 good tables here. I'm very surprised I managed to find 4 tables this good on a network like iPoker, where I didn't really think there was too many recreational players. Particularly on the iPoker 1 skins, which bet most is, where we're not in a pool with all at the regular tables. We're not in a pool with all the Paddy Power, Betfair, all those type of players. They're all on iPoker 2 Premium Network. So, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised to have found games this good. I'm not going to see bet here against Daniel. Just going to try and make a hand against him. Aces 2 tables of a limper, so we're just going to pot and isolate. And here, as you can see against Daniel, I've just literally given up. And I don't care that it might seem like really quite weak and exploitable. So this, right, first of all, let's 3-bet the aces at the top table. I'm going to make it large because I don't expect the guy with the 64 VPIP to fold. I'm going to raise here. And if he's flopped a set and donked it well, he's going to win all my stack. And he folds, which is unfortunate. But I don't expect him to bet fold a queen there. I don't expect him to bet fold a draw. We're going to get it all in with the aces here, which is very nice. And unfortunately for that gentleman, he has kings, which is somewhat of a cooler for... Well, it's not somewhat, it's the ultimate cooler for him. But it happens to us all. It's happened to me 3 times that since I've come to this site. So it's nice to get one back for the good guys. And it's in pounds too, which is nice, not euros. Which is sweet. Okay, so we've been 3-bet here with the queen 10 off after isolating a limper. Seems like a good spot to just wind my neck in and make a fold. Do I want to call against a fish in the small blind with Jack 10 suited? I think the way to answer this question is, what are the chances that you're going to get squeezed by the big blind? It looks pretty tight, so... yeah, he's been 3-betting 8%, but it's such a small sample size that can't be reliable. The 18-14 is going to be a little bit more reliable. 18-14 is implying that he's a little bit tight. So I don't think I'm going to get squeezed too often there. Certainly not often enough where it's going to want to dissuade me from trying to play some playable hands against a weak player, or a player that I think may be weak. He pots the flop, which is... I'd rather he hadn't potted the flop, but call, and we're probably just going to, if he bombs his turn, we're just going to fold. And if he is just doing something bad aggressive and... Right, so he's bet smaller, but he's still bet. I don't want to call the river here. So I don't want to call the river, and I expect he's going to bet quite often. I'm just going to fold the turn and make an exploitable fold. And if he is quite bad aggressive and he's constantly in there betting, like he looks like he may be with his stats or shaping up that way, I'm sure we'll soon find a situation where we can look him up. And now we'll look at Lucky River. I think now he's just a multi-tabling fish. He's over limping there. He's not reloading his stack. Wow, just going to fold here. On that board, when we get 2 callers and then somebody donks small into it, and we have kind of absolutely nothing, then I'm just going to get out of the way. Yeah, so Lucky River's at every table. He's playing 44-31. He looks to me like he's just some kind of bad aggressive regular who thinks he's a good player, but he probably isn't going to be one. That's how Lucky River's striking me now. So hopefully we get a chance to prove that against him in a moment. by him opening the button and not folding to my 3-bet. Because I don't think you're going to fold as often, I'm going to make a slightly larger 3-bet. I think this sort of player, the bad aggressive types, they constantly just, they don't give him a credit, and he has it there. He has folded to me that time, so whatever. This time I am going to c-bet versus Daniel to try board. We have a good draw. Seems like a good a time as any to make a c-bet versus someone who doesn't fold very often. Let's do some set mine. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Just call. Just call. You don't want to be squeezing here, sir. And we miss anyway, so never mind. We just move on. I think when he c-bets on this board into this many players, I think the worst hand he has here is 2 aces or 2 kings, something like that. And I think even with those types of hands, you know, you're getting close to overplaying there. I think I would probably check 2 aces on that board that heavily multi-way most of the time. So I'm guessing when he's double barreling, triple barreling here, he's just going to somehow. I mean, if he turns up with an overpair here and shoves and whatever, I think it's going to be the height of ambition. If he checks, well, he's gone for it. He has gone for it. And he had ace-10. He had to have something like that there to take that line. Ace-10 off in someone's under the gun opening range. Maybe I'm a nit. Well, I am a nit, but I mean, wow, ace-10 off, is it really the kind of hand we want to be opening under the gun? So I'm going to put a cautionary note on this fellow, because I think he may just be lacking positional awareness. So we're going to maybe positionally unaware opens ace-10 off the gun. Just so I can be a little bit aware of it. It may not be true. He might not be. He might just have raised that hand because of Tinto or Tommy. Maybe Tinto or Tommy's the reason for thinking, well, I'm going to widen my ranges all the time. It sucks for him that he's got the worst seat on Tinto or Tommy. Just going to call here against Daniel. We could obviously raise. We have a very strong draw. But I'd prefer it if we had some higher cards. Not much point trying to semi-bluff somebody who maybe isn't that into folding. So we're just going to try and realise our equity. And we don't, which is unfortunate, so clearly now we only have one option against Daniel, and that is to fold the river. I'm going to try and steal the nits blind on table 4, sorry. Playing 16-13. Seems like a good time to try and pick up some pots. Queen 9 of suit. I don't see any reason to let the big blind come along for the ride here. I'm going to raise the Queen 9 suited under the gun, which is way too wide typically, but we have snooze in the small blind and I want to play as many pots with snooze as I can. Just going to stab once here and going to barrel a 10, a king or a diamond or a queen. That was my plan for the turn. Unfortunately, Longshan 22-8 not buying in full, making a small 3-bet squeeze. If that's not a premium hand, I'll show my ass in Woolly's window. Sorry for the phrase that some of you may not be aware of, but yeah, that just has to be a really strong hand. And if it isn't, well, congratulations. Hopefully we're going to get a chance to squeeze again with 2 aces, which is, in my opinion, always the best time to squeeze. Come on, lucky river, do it. No, we didn't. So we're not going to get to squeeze, unfortunately. We're just going to get to 3-bet. And if he does call, I'm going to make some larger c-bets than usual because of his stack size. I'm not going to... I mean, usually when we want to c-bet in 3-bet pots, we want to be try to balance and make half-pot type bets, etc. I don't think that counts against people who we think are probably bad. I think we just put some large bets in, go for value. And I won't be folding here if he raises, because it's just too likely he's going to have the ace of spades or king x, etc. So my plan was absolutely to bet call it off there and not be thrilled about it, obviously, but I wasn't going to be folding. I don't like set mine against Lucky River here at the stack depth, but I do like set mine in with snooze in the pot. Hopefully Genocide is going to play nicely and not squeeze. Which he does. And now snooze, hopefully he's going to come and join the party, and we're going to hope to flop a set. That would be sweet. That would be really sweet. Come on, snooze, flick it in, you know you want to. When snooze folds there, it's kind of disappointing because he's the only reason that I didn't kind of want to just 3-bet versus quite a wide isolation range. I mean, if had snooze not have limped there against someone who I believe is as aggressive as Lucky River, I may have just taken a 3-bet, 5-bet shove line. Unfortunately now we've completely bricked and we have to get out of the pot. So yeah, it's disappointing there that snooze did manage to somehow find the limp fold. Not often you see 59-14s pulling the limp forward line out of the bag. But yeah, these games, they are pretty good. As good as any you've seen for a while. I mean, table 4 is the worst table. And we've just noticed that when it was called that all-in character, all-in trader was he called? All-in trader's gone, so I think we will sit out next big blind at this table. The one problem I have with this is we can't tag players in a way that shows up in the lobby. We can tag them in a way that shows up at the table, but unfortunately that doesn't transfer to the lobby. 9-7 suited against 2 nits. Not in love with it, but that said, I mean, we're getting 5-1. It's not that we're going to play big pots on boards like these. We're just going to try and hit our hand. Here we ideally want to hit another 7, I think. A nice offsuit 7 will go down quite nicely. I'd probably rather hit a 7 than an 8. An 8 would probably kill my action. 6 isn't a good one. 6 is not a good one. I think when people see about these boards, like, again, I think we discussed it earlier, the 10-7-6 two-tone boards, I don't think it's your typical board that you find people see betting. I think it's a bluff. So I'm just going to give him credit. When he double barrels there, I don't think I'm going to be good anywhere near enough. Right then, Lucky River, are you going to let me steal your blind? Yes, you are. And unfortunately, Daniel's left, which has now made table 1 also a pretty bad game. So he'll be sitting out of that one too. And I think what we'll do for just for a second, I'll just pause the video whilst I bring 2 new tables in. So here we are back again, and because of the time of the day it is, there was no more games, only like 6 cash games running in the lobby, and I just left 3 of them. 3 of the tables broke. 2 of the tables broke whilst I was searching for the table. So just for the purpose of finishing the video off, we're going to do another 15 minutes or so. Just I'm not quite sure this HUD doesn't appear to be working correctly on these speed poker tables. What is going on? What is going on here? I'm not really sure what is going on here right now with my HUD. I'm just going to play the video out and just have to just play without HUD stats on the and ignore the HUDs on. I don't have the time to complete it now. I don't have the time to like figure out what's going wrong. On top of that, I don't really have the technical skills to figure out what's going wrong. So hopefully we're just going to get dealt aces all the time and not have to worry too much with the situation. So here, oh wow. Do we just put the called 4 in? I think we do. Put the called 4 in. I'm going to make it quite small because I do want action. We don't need HUD stats to called 4-bet 2 aces, which is nice. We can just called 4-bet the 2 aces and be happy with the situation against everybody. Interesting. Do not put the 5 ball down. Beautiful. I mean, that gentleman there has just done that with absolutely no dynamic whatsoever. He's just decided that he's just going to 5-bet shove. And I think there, and I wish I'd mentioned it earlier, but sorry, whilst I adjust my position and almost knocked my headset off, I think there, the sizing helped me get the action because we put a called 4-bet in, but it was really small, and bad aggressive players will sometimes see the really small sizing and they'll just attack it, for what they think it is, which is like I don't know, who knows what they think it is, but they'll put way too many bluffs in people's ranges there. I would imagine called 4-bet bluffs in microstakes poker are as rare as hen's teeth. I'm not going to pay this bet off here. Yeah, they're just rare, and without reads, without really strong reads that people are messing around, I don't see any reason to do anything but fold to them, unless we're right at the top of our range. Ace 2 suited is nowhere near the top of anyone's range ever, so or it shouldn't be anyway. Defend the Queen 9 suited, but it's such a small open. I think I've been having a problem in my blinds lately against small opens. I need to work on my ranges of how to play them versus small opens, because Queen 9 suited to me it's way too strong to fold, too weak to 3-bets. I kind of end up just calling and then getting in spots like this. I'm like, well, I need to call once because I flopped a pair. Now I've turned a gut shot, so I probably need to call again if he double barrels, and I just get myself in not big messes because I mean, if the pot starts getting uncomfortable, I'll just get the hell out of it. But now the spade's come, and I'm just going to check again, and now I'm just going to check fold. And I just played the whole hand, just like, bleh, whatever, you know. The hand's just happened, and I don't ever really give myself a good chance to win it, and I just haven't played the hand well. I need to work on that. I need to do better than that. Better than I'm doing in those situations, so I wasn't meant to fold the A7 there. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to go away, watch some videos, and just kind of make better plans for those situations. Have better lines. Maybe there isn't a better line than the line I took there. Who knows? I mean, every point it felt like checking was the best option. But just calling, then check, calling. I mean, it doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel good. And now we've lost snooze too, which is unfortunate. So all in all, it's been a fun session, but I think it's going to end early, guys. Because right now I'm in a speed poker pool that is very tiny, and the HUD's not working, and I've got regular tables. I've got a regular table left now. I'm going to check call my 8s. I'm going to try and make it. Try and exploit any loose floats that he's made on that board. But I don't think the 6 changes very much. If he's got 3 6s now, well, hallelujah. But I am going to try and exploit the fact that I think people float a little bit too much and then start bluffing. I think he would have maybe 3-bet 10s and etc. before the flop. So kind of the only hands I'm really worried about here is 6x and any random jack x that he floated, and that just got there. So I am going to pay this bet off. And unfortunately he didn't have one of the hands I thought he would 3-bet pre-flop. He didn't have. He didn't 3-bet pre, which is a shame, because if I felt he could have 10s there, I absolutely wouldn't have taken that line. So, due to the fact my regular table has broken in terms of no fish left apart from Lucky River, who's got no money, and the HUD's not working, and the fact it's 9 o'clock now in the morning and I've got things I need to be doing, we are going to call it a session. I hope you've enjoyed this latest update. And yeah, I'll catch up with you again soon. There won't be an update now for a few days, because tomorrow I'm going out on an all-day beer session with friends on a bus trip. It's an annual bus trip, so I won't be playing poker at all tomorrow. And I probably won't be playing an awful lot on Sunday, because I expect to have a steamingly big hangover. And playing poker with a hangover is not plus EV for me. So, yep, hopefully we can just finish off the session with winning a couple of pots, and then we'll call it a day. And hope you all have a really good weekend, and crush the poker if you're crushing it. If you're going out on the go grind, hope you crush the go grind. Whatever it is you're doing, I hope you do well at it, and I hope you have a good one. So we've been called in 2 spots here. The Queen's pretty gross. Well, not so gross that I'm not going to see bet. And now we're happy that the regulars folded. We're not happy that the fish folded. So yep, we sat out at all the tables apart from this one. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch up with you in a day or so. Bye for now and take care.